In our continuing team coverage, we're moving further north. Backwater flooding along the Red River is causing problems for farmers there. In fact, one farmer there has almost half of his fields underwater. Neil Melancon tells us even if the waters recede and replanting is possible, some problems are not going to go away.
This is how Luke Sayes is getting to work these days, checking his fields that are almost completely underwater. It would otherwise be a peaceful scene of waves lapping up on the shore by his barn, except that this lake represents about 2/5 of his best land and income.
It's one of our really good farms. It's our favorite farm. We've done a lot of work down there to make sure that it's, really up to par. It's a really high yielding area, and so that puts us kind of in a bind.
All of this flooding is further north than what you saw earlier in the program and has been going on for quite some time, drowning out both farms and homes. Even where there is dry land to farm, Sayes said some farmers in his area have had their drives go from 15 minutes to 2 hours due to water covering roads, and all this is before the Morganza spillway opens up next week.
We're in the lower Red River Valley, so it may get inundated and not be able to get out. And it may actually come up a little bit. We're not really sure until they open it up. We really don't have any idea.
I'm standing on not just effectively, but a literal island here where Luke Sayes' barn is. Normally he takes a roadway to get here. We'll show you where that is in a minute. This is his 1,500 acres of his best farmland right here, and it's sandwiched right now in between the river and Lardo Lake, which is back this way just a bit. In between us is 3102, the roadway he normally takes to get to this land, also completely underwater. The problem is it's just one part of what he calls a compound issue, economics being the other big part in farming right now.
Further north in Franklin Parish, there's not as much water on Scott Wigger's fields. However, the soggy prices for beans that have held on since last year made some acres awash.
Beans, yeah, it factored into our decisions as to how many acres of beans we wanted to plant, because it was just really a bad marketing situation, as everyone knows. So we moved a little bit heavy to corn.
The water has stopped some fields from being planted. Economics has stopped others. Together, it's making for a tough year in farming, and Sayes says he's not just concerned for his farm, but for all those that depend on ag.
The people that work for us, the ag retailers that deal with us, the equipment salesmen, all those kind of people that depend on us to make a good living so that we can keep everything afloat around here. And it's not just us, it's a lot of other farmers that are in the same boat that we are.
Now, there is some good news in all of this, is that some market prices have edged upwards in the last couple of weeks, buoyed by a forecast of lower production in the Midwest. Rice prices are also coming back up a bit, which is good for farmers in Louisiana after multi-year lows. And Kristen, you have to be an optimist as a farmer to face this kind of stuff. I mean, it's funny that we were so close to Monterey while we were doing this, because the whole time I was thinking about when Landon's fields flooded and it looked like a big lake. And I mean, you can't tell at Luke's place where Lake Lardo begins and his fields end, or vice versa. I mean, it's just one big mass of water.
Well, you say you have to be an optimist, but this is my fourth year being married to a farmer. I grew up on a livestock operation, so it's different. Mm-hmm. It's really hard at times when when the prices are this low, and they hopefully, knock on wood, tomorrow or today they get finished planting the soybeans, which is really late, but it's hard because it just seems like year after year these row crop farmers get hit with situations like this.
Well, Luke said something there, around Lake Lardo, there's all of those hunting camps and lodges. Mm-hmm. And he says in the next year, he expects to see a bunch of people selling their camps because they're sick of being flooded. So, I mean, that's just a hunting camp. I can't imagine what these farmers are going through with year after year of flooded fields. I mean, what if, the real thing to think about is with 2,000 acres underwater, 2,000 is 5,000 acres underwater, what if you had to deal with 2/5 less of your income in a year, just gone?
And those farmers around the Morganza have to be thinking about how often is this going to start happening. It's only happened 3 times, but with the way that floods have been happening, how much longer can they farm in that area?
Yeah, and I mean, in that Forebay area, I mean, it's just like a 50-50 shot these days as to whether or not it's going to flood. I mean, that area always seems to be underwater, and now that it looks like more and more, as you said, they're going to be underwater lower than that too.
Well, Neil Melancon, excellent coverage. Thank you for taking care of that for us.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like down below. That really helps us out. Also, please subscribe to our channel to stay up to date on all things Louisiana agriculture that we cover here on TWILA. Also, check out this video right here, and we'll see you on the next one.